Hola. 'Tis I, Alycia. How are you? I hope you're doing well. As we are in the month of spooky, I thought we would do a Houdini read. So, if you don't know who Houdini is, he was a magician and an illusionist. He was well known in the 20s for debunking mediums and spiritualists. And, all of those people, he just thought that they were a bunch of fakers, and he would try to disprove them. It is said it's not because he didn't believe in spirit communication, but as much as that these people were just phonies and he wanted to expose them. Fair enough. So, before his death, he stated it should be possible to contact the living from the other side, and he would do so. So, he died October 31st, 1926, Halloween. On the anniversary of his death, each year his wife Bess would hold a seance to contact Houdini. There was a prize offered of $10,000 to anyone who could correctly deliver a message from Houdini, which would seem to me they had something set up as the specific message. As I go on, I was realizing there might be some Houdini fanatics out there, the Houdini community, like coming after me. You're missing details. Just stop. Save it for yourself. Okay. I'm just going through some notes here. We're not going to get all deep into the Arthur Conan Doyle stuff and whatever. We're not doing a documentary on Houdini. Back to the thing. So, 3 years later, January of 1929, a man came forward called Arthur Ford, who claimed he was ready to speak to Houdini. Oh, he was ready. What was he prepping to do, I wonder? Anyway, so in Bess's home on January 7th, 1929, they held a seance. Ford's spirit guide, known as Fletcher, I wonder what my spirit guide's name is. I don't think it's Fletcher, though, delivered a message. Rosabelle, answer, tell, pray, answer, look, tell, answer, tell. I think that's what I caught. Trying to find a lot of this stuff, it's the interwebs, and people have all sorts of different things, so that's what I found. But it says Mrs. Houdini was quick to decipher the code as Rosabelle Believe. Rosabelle was a title of a song that was popular at Coney Island when Bess and Houdini met. And the code was one that the Houdinis had used during a mind reading act that they had perfected earlier in their days touring with the circus. So Mrs. Houdini, she went on to do this interview January 9th, and she said, I had no idea what combination of words Harry's would use, and when he said believe, it was a surprise. So then the Ford guy, remember, he had his spirit guide Fletcher, and he was preparing to bring this message forth. He had her sign a document to prove that she believed he had successfully contacted her husband. Regardless of any statements made to the contrary, I wish to declare that the message in its entirety and in the agreed-upon sequence given to me by Arthur Ford is the correct message prearranged between Mr. Houdini and myself, signed by Beatrice Houdini. But then I was reading later, I don't know that if she took that back and later she was saying that wasn't the message. That's where the story to me gets murky. So I'm like, I don't know. She might have taken it back because there was a later seance, and this is where she had gone on for 10 years, and perhaps it was just that he didn't come through in the final seance that she was doing, or maybe she was saying the whole time he never really came through. I don't know. So I'm curious, did Houdini ever come through to his wife Bess? Maybe he popped up to her in dreams. Who knows? Maybe he gave her other signs and signals that she wasn't paying attention to. Who knows? Let's see. Did Houdini ever come through to Bess? Houdini, Houdini, Houdini. Did you ever come through to Bess? Did you connect maybe with Fletcher on the other side and get that message across to Mr. Ford? Let's see. This is the Boo Tarot. Hmm. Interesting. Okay. I need to get my sneaky snacker box. Do. Okay. This is why I think this is hilarious. So, where's my wand? Oh, here you are. So, we have the Three of Wands with the Seven of Swords. So, I think, you know, he was looking for a while to see who he's going to be able to use to come through to Bess, right? I think he actually went to some of these ones he defrauded, like to give them a second chance, like from the other side, to be like, all right, let's see what you're made of on this side. And he could obviously tell they were full of shit, but he thought he'd give it a try on the other side. That is hilarious. Yes, keep doing that. That is funny. um, it looks like he was doing a lot of work, trying to figure out how to, like, it's almost like he's like the super student of trying to communicate from the other side. He's doing a lot of work trying to figure out how to communicate and realizing it's not as easy to get his message through to this side from the other side. But at some point he does get his message through, but it looks like interesting here. He's like mentioning like conditions have to be right or something. That's how he sees it. Like conditions have to be right for him to be able to contact, send a message through. Because it's not just like I'm just coming through. It's like there has to be a translator of sorts. Like if back then the translator would have to be a human, right? And a human doing whatever the things that they did back then, using a Ouija board, or I don't know. Did I assume they probably did scrying and automatic writing, whatever. Now you would have like the talking box, ovuluses, things like that. Either way, it's realizing that the conditions have to be perfect. Like all these things have to meet at once for him to get his message through. But he looks like he figured out a certain way to do this. And he was happy that he was able to get his message through over to Bess. That's interesting. I like that he was fucking with the fakers. All right. And that's the end of our read. No. I'm curious. Did he go back and continue to mess with the fake mediums? Like, I wonder. Oh, good lord. These cards, they've got a weird bend in them, and I'm still trying to get the bend to not keep going back to its bend it wants to. Alright, Harry, were you going and messing with all those debunked mediums? Did you find any legit ones? Maybe you changed your mind on some of them. Let's see. Did I even pay the tax? I think I brought the box up. I don't know if I paid the tax. Well, we'll pay the tax again. Either way, that's fine. All right. He definitely went to, like, I think whoever, if he had a list of ones that he debunked or called out or whatever, he went through, I think he went through all of them. I think out of, it's, to me, it's interesting because I think out of all the ones that, however, he had put on his BS list, there might have been one here that was actually capable of carrying through the messages that he might have said was not. But out of the rest of them, it looks like he would give them another opportunity. The way it comes through is that he, like we saw in that last spread, he was working on figuring out how to get his message over to this side. So he was becoming a student. Like, as hard as he worked on his illusions on this side, he was working as hard on them on the other side. And he was trying very hard. And so he's confident in a couple of these that he called out. I want to say that it's a man and a woman, like a prominent man and the woman back in the day that he called out, and he's very confident, like now on the other side. He's very confident that he was right on them. There's another one here. I want to say it's a younger female he called out, but he found out on the other side that she was actually legit. But this feels like she didn't want to come through and tell anybody, like she had communication with him. No. Because it's like she was already outed, and then it's like she's drawing more attention to herself. Nope, not getting into that again. Interesting. I think he was making himself known to Bess, though. It's like he was trying different ways, though, to make himself known to Bess. It wasn't just... It was like signs and symbols and things. So he was playing around with, like, if she had a favorite flower, he'd put that on the sidewalk ahead of her. It's not playing a favorite song, but there was like some type of, like, I think he was ringing bells in places. It was a lot of him trying to figure out what he could do from the other side and trying to figure out what she would pay attention to. So I think he tried multiple things. I think he did come to her in dreams. I don't think she bought it. I think she thought that was just her memories replaying and not true spirit communication. I think too here, I'm wondering if Bess didn't hold like seances in between the anniversary of his passing. Like, I don't think she went just from Halloween to Halloween. I think she was doing seances in between here, trying to contact him as well. But it's interesting because it seems like he's trying to go direct to Bess and not through whoever is the medium or spiritualist or whatever at the get together. He's trying to go direct to her, but she's kind of blocked it out in terms of, like, held up her hands like, well, I don't have any abilities. I'm going to let an expert do it. And I think he was trying to get her to hear him or acknowledge his communications, but I think she kind of just took it as, like, she doubted it. She didn't believe it was true. Interesting. That's funny. I wonder who these three mediums were, though. That... Oh, gosh. Okay. Now he had a fight with Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. I believe that's his name. And Doyle, I think, was big into the mediums and stuff, and Houdini was not. Somehow, I don't know if they ever made up, but I'm wondering, like, did he meet with Doyle on the other side? How did that go? Were they able to make things okay? They're still over there having arguments. So let's see, Houdini and Doyle. I was going to take one from the sneaky snacker box. I got to put one in the sneaky snacker box. Seven of Swords. What's going on here? I think they've made up for sure. interesting. It's almost as if, I think Houdini at some point, I don't know, but it seems like at some point, it felt like it's almost like he thought Doyle was like pulling his leg, trying to mess with him, trying to be an antagonist on purpose with him. And it was like trying to get Houdini into a trap somehow. I don't know how that'd be, but so Houdini looks like a fool. That's how Houdini was taking it. But this is like Doyle, and he's like, I told you, it's possible. But yeah, this is like Houdini was trying to, like, he's trying to pull some shenanigans on me. He's trying to get me entangled with shady mediums. But I think definitely, I'm thinking here, we got the sun, we got the lovers. They're like friends on the other side. They're like reconnected. This still looks like they argue some, though. It's almost, it's like a, I don't know. It feels like a smart person battle of theories and ideas on the other side, where they're not totally still not buying into each other's positions fully, but they're fine. They're hanging out. They're cool. And it's interesting because I think how we saw before how Houdini's messing with the mediums that come through with him. Supposedly he's still trying to figure out like how he could debunk them on this side, like mess with them. I don't know. He's studying and looking into things and figuring things out, I think. Because it's just like exploring all these different options. So, he's trying to still like go find fake mediums and mess with them. There's also like this idea here where he's researching. It's almost like I see him like as a research scientist on the other side, very much studying how to do spirit communication. I will say this too, if there was somebody who was, say, in the paranormal field and they were making devices for spirit communication, he would hope that they had reached out to him or do reach out to him, because he would like to connect to them and help give them, like, download ideas to them, like a facilitation of cleaner, irrefutable communication that can't be misconstrued. Okay, so he has this idea, like, this comes through as, like, you know when you hear on the ghost shows, if you watch the ghost shows, and they have that thing, the static radio thing, and then you hear something come through like, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, it said this. And then everybody else is like, well, I heard this, right? So nobody knows what really meant. This is, he would like to work with one of these device makers to give them ideas how to do this. Like, he believes he's figured out a way to do spirit communication in a way that nobody's going to doubt it. It wouldn't be that confusion. It wouldn't be like, oh, well, I heard this, well, I heard that. No, you would hear this, this, this. That's interesting. That would save me and Doyle a lot of fights. Okay. Well, alright. Anyway, that's interesting. I wonder if there's any people making spirit communication devices who've thought of hooking up with Houdini, because apparently he's looking for a partner to do something. He wants to channel the information to you and help you do that. So if somebody ever watches this and makes those devices, see if you can reach out to Houdini, because he has ideas to help you. Alright, with that, thank you for watching. If you haven't joined me in the Moon Moth Manor, come on over. There's all sorts of videos I'm sharing there. I'm not sharing here for obvious reasons. Give this video a like. If you need some crystals, come to my website, AlyciaWicker.com. That's also where you can join me in the Moon Moth Manor. And I will see you next time. Adios.